So here we have the late winter started ranunculus corms, and you'll remember that I put them all together in one tray just for quickness. And I'm just going to carefully lever them out of the compost now. Look at those roots. So these are ready now for their own 15 cell trays. So unusually, I am actually going to put a little bit of compost in the bottom of these trays for their delicate roots. And then we'll just sit them in carefully and then fill up with compost all around. You don't want them to wake up too much, because then the roots can get tangled up with each other and then you can damage them, you can rip them when you try to get them apart. And then just gently cover them over. Don't worry about covering them up completely, they will soon poke themselves back through. There we go. And I'll carry on now and do the rest. Go, everybody is nicely tucked in, so I'm just going to give this a light overhead water and then leave them to get on with it. So here we go, just a little gentle overhead water, and try if you possibly can to do this in the morning so that they don't go to bed in soaking wet compost. There we go. I just brought a tray down from the house. I've got another set of corms to pot on now, and I thought, do you know what I'll do? I've got that soil temperature thermometer. I'll measure the soil temperature. So you don't have to be this precise, but I thought you might be interested. So it's in a cool place in the house, not too warm. The soil temperature is reading 14.8 degrees. So that's obviously the ideal waking up temperature for them. We've had success on all of our corms, so every single one has come up, no problem whatsoever. It is too cold at the moment to pre-sprout your corms in the greenhouse. It's just been really cold, and also we have temperatures that are fluctuating wildly between the day and the night time. Now you're probably wondering, do you need to bring your corms in or leave them out after you've potted them on? Now if you're watching this next week and catching up, then you're probably going to want to bring your corms in at night. We're keeping a very close eye on those temperatures, aren't we? However, at the moment we are above freezing, so I've already done some corms and I covered them up overnight. So I'm going to turn the camera around in a second and show you what I've done, and then I'm going to uncover them for the day and let the air and the light get to them, otherwise they'll get too hot. But that's what I'm doing. I don't have an awful lot of top growth because I've managed to pot them on quite quickly. However, if you've got lots and lots of top growth, especially if they've gone a bit leggy and you've got lots of leaves, it might be worth being a bit more careful and bringing them in at night for a few nights just to acclimatise them slowly. However, if they're like mine and they're tucked in under a duvet of compost, and then I'm going to put lids on them and some EnviroMesh or horticultural fleece over the top of that, then they should be fine in the greenhouse as long as it's not very cold. If temperature dips, we'll take them indoors. This is my setup, so let me show you. We've got EnviroMesh, or you can use horticultural fleece over the very top. This will also protect them from mice or rodents. So we've got the EnviroMesh, and then if I lift them up, you can see we've got lids. And then if I lift those up, you can see, look, you've got a snuggly duvet of compost. And you might also notice that I've got them on upside down crates so that they are not sitting directly on the floor. If you don't have crates, you can always use an upside down seed tray. It's just to keep them off the cold floor, and they are absolutely fine under this little duvet. So I'm going to uncover them now for the day because the sun's out. So I'm going to uncover them for the day so they don't overheat, and then I'll snuggle them back up again tonight. Temperature here got down to 1 degree last night, but however in the greenhouse, look, it only got down to 2.9. So the greenhouse is doing an excellent job. At this time of the year compared to December is that we have this lovely warm sunshine. It's a lot brighter now, and the sun, when it comes out, charges up the greenhouse with lovely warmth, which hangs around well into the evening. So when the temperature dips outside, the greenhouse is significantly warmer because of all that charged up heat. When we have grey days and it's cold day and night, that's when the temperature can drop and drop and drop, and it doesn't recover, and that's what does all the damage to your plants. At the moment, we're probably dipping to the lowest temperature just for an hour or two overnight before the sun comes up and warms everything up again. Just following exactly the same process with the anemones I thought you might like to see. So I'm snuggling them down onto a cushion of compost and then filling them in all around gently so I don't disturb any of the shoots, and then I will give them a gentle watering. Have to be a lot more gentle when you've pre-sprouted your corms and then transfer them into the 15 cell trays than we did when we planted them straight after soaking. But as long as you're gentle, they'll be absolutely fine. And don't worry too much if the stems and the leaves get covered over a little bit with the compost. They will soon poke themselves back through again. Okay, just be really gentle. I've just given the tray a little shake and a little tap to settle the compost, and now we're ready to water. Leave the tray into the shade while I water it because it is lunchtime. Now, if you're worried about dislodging the compost when you overhead water, what I normally do is I just water the edges of the tray and then let the water seep in either side, and then you won't end up with those great big holes in your compost. There we go, look, that's all filled back in again now. Really gently. This is really good for seeds, so if you don't want to dislodge your seeds, just water the edges of the tray instead. Also neatens up the seed tray, doesn't it? Quite a comprehensive set of stories, but I know there's lots of people out there and you're a little bit confused between the difference between the winter, the autumn jump starter and the spring sowing. So I thought if I explain everything precisely and why I'm doing what I'm doing, then hopefully that will make a lot more sense to you and you'll just be able to use your judgment when it comes to looking after your plants.